Welcome back. Now, a group of 250 teachers in the northern region, part of a nationwide total of 400, are calling for urgent help from relevant authorities of allegations of professional and financial injustice. In a petition to the regional minister, the 2023 cohort of teachers expressed outrage over claims by the regional education director that the appointments are false. They spoke with Martina Bugri.
My name is Muftau Malik Adeyemi, the president of the Coalition of Unpaid Teachers 2023 cohort. And we are here to submit a petition to the regional minister on the following issues. Our regional education director, who is the chief administrator for education in the region, on Sagani TV, first 2 weeks of January, addressed the media saying that our appointments are fake, and he also contradictorily said our names are with the region but not at the headquarters. And we have come to the regional minister to intervene into this matter because we were issued due offer letters and we were given regional posting letters by the same seat or the region he occupies. And we were actually sent to various schools to teach while were issued assumption of duty letters as well. So we have been teaching far long, even more than a year before he even assumed office as the regional education director. And by then he was the district director for Sanargu, and he also signed on our documents, our IPPD forms, for them to process our salaries. So if he is saying it is fake, why did he sign those documents for them to sign to process our salaries? Because we didn't cast a voodoo spell on him to sign those documents, and we didn't cast any spell on anybody, including Hajia Katumi, to sign our regional posting letters for us. We were people seeking jobs, we were offered jobs, and we went to the regional education office. They gave us our due regional posting letters, which tells us that we have to go to schools and start teaching. And we have been teaching since that time till now. So why all of a sudden he assuming duty as the regional director for education all of a sudden tells us that our appointments are fake based on allegations? So this is why we are here to see the regional minister to intervene into this matter.
The Northern Regional Coordinating Director who received the petition on behalf of the minister said he'll present it to the appropriate quarters.
Who is currently engaged in an equally important assignment. So when he comes, I'll hand over the petition to him, and then I want to say that, I assure you that we will forward the petition to the appropriate authorities to deal with the issues we have raised in the petition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Martina Bugri joins us with more on this. So, Martina, these teachers numbering the hundreds, how is it affecting teaching in the classrooms?
So for today, they say they have to stop teaching and they are on the street protesting. But before then, they have been going to school for the past 25 months. They have taught in their various schools they were posted to. And this is the second protest they are having within 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, they were at the regional education office to picket for over 10 hours protesting the same issue that they have brought to the regional coordinating council today. And so for today, we are being told that they are out of the classroom. So various schools that these teachers have been posted to today would not have lessons because they are protesting. Most of them say that they have been borrowing all this while to feed themselves and their families. And as they speak now, their lenders have refused and they are pursuing them for monies they owe. Now, a woman says that she has been commuting to school every day, has to feed her kids, and now she's stranded. She has nothing to feed her children. So they are appealing to the minister through the education minister to get them instated and their arrears paid.
Do we know how long they'll be out of the classroom for?
So they are saying that they will continue the protest. They haven't given the exact time, but they are saying that it will continue. And if they do not get results at the region, they would petition the leadership in Parliament for their issues to be heard.
Right. Thank you very much, Martina, for that update. Martina Bugri there in the northern region. Now, a security consultant, Richard Kumado, is asking government and other stakeholders to strengthen the tomato production value chain in Ghana to forestall occurrences like what happened over the weekend in northern Burkina Faso that left some Ghanaians dead. We know the Interior Minister's opened high-level engagements with local authorities to establish the full circumstances, surrounding the incident. We'll hear from Richard Kumado in a bit. First, Interior Minister Montaka Mubarak has raised concerns about the situation on our borders.
He even assumed office as the Regional Education Director.
The security environment has continued to evolve. We have observed heightened public concern over crime trend, persistent border security pressures linked to transnational threats, increasing demand for effective regulation, and growing public scrutiny regarding accountability, service delivery, and respect for human rights. At the same time, the sector has recorded notable gains. This includes stronger interagency collaboration, progress in digitalization and intelligence-led operations, improve in emergency response, and reform aimed at professionalism and oversight. This mixed outcomes underscores the importance of a deliberate, evidence-based performance review such as this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this workshop is not convened merely to recount activities or define statistics. It's convened to interrogate results, confront implementation gaps, and agree on corrective actions.
Let's engage now security consultant Richard Kumado on how to deal with the issue. Grateful for your time, Mr. Kumado. We know that terrorism has become a threat, especially on our borders, and Ghana has raised these concerns. It looks like this matter is becoming a problem, a real problem. How do we deal with this? So we're still trying to get the attention of Mr. Kumado on this. And we know the situation that happened over the weekend in northern Burkina Faso, leaving some Ghanaian tomato traders dead after they were attacked by armed men, claimed to be terrorists in that part of Burkina Faso, specifically the town of Ditao. The Interior Minister has raised concerns earlier, and we know that the Ghanaian consulate in that area is also looking into the matter, but we'll try and get more reactions from security analysts on the issue. But still on security issues, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMAS, has arrested 5 armed men who have been parading themselves as national security operatives and extorting monies from illegal mining sites at Hiawa in the western region. The team also seized 3 pump-action guns and 3 excavators in a Valentine's Day raid on 2 illegal mining camps at Adjenase in the Bekwai municipality of the Ashanti region. And Erastus Asari Donko joins me with more details on this. Erastus, grateful for joining us this afternoon. So what more are you learning about this incident? Unmute and speak to us, Erastus.
We do know that the gang of 5, who were some of them wearing military camouflage, were operating within Hiawa in the Amenfi Central municipality of the Western region, and extorted huge sums of money from illegal miners to allow them to operate their illegal business in that area. They were using a Toyota Land Cruiser with registration number AK819-21, and they've been identified as Joshua Baite Andrews, 55, George Obing Ejakon is 48, Dominic Gansa is 45, Issa Bantio is 38, and Al Hassan Ibrahim 38. And so they have since been handed over to the police in Accra for further investigations. But in their possession, they retrieved 1 pistol with 2 magazines,
they had NATO pepper sprays, they had cutlasses, 3 of them, 1 shocker, a helmet, and some handcuffs that they were using to perpetrate the illegality. Now, on Valentine's Day and yesterday and today, NIMOS has also been cracking down the whip on illegal mining camps within the Ashanti region, precisely at Junase within the Bekwai municipality, where they have so far seized 3 excavators and some other pumping machine equipment. They seized 3 pump action guns as well from these illegal miners. They are still within the region and continuing today.
Well, Erastus, do we know how long these illegal mining operators or even these armed thugs protecting them and extorting monies have been operating?
Well, from the information that we do have, this is what they've been doing for a very long time. And NIMOS acted on intelligence from some of the miners within that enclave that this is what they do. And they've been doing it for months, extorting huge sums of monies from them. Don't forget, an amount of 150,000 cedis was retrieved from them when they were arrested. And some of these have been confirmed by NIMOS operatives.
What has been, or what is the latest on this? A 14-year-old boy was killed, during one of these raids by NIMOS.
Well, so this case involves a mining company called Yas Mining Company. So far, I've been trying to get whether they do have a license to operate within the Adelekazo area in the Zima East district. But about 2 months or 3 months ago, there was an issue of water pollution and land degradation within the area. The people resisted and had a face-off with the security of that mining company. And in the course of that, this 14-year-old boy was shot dead. In fact, the police arrested some of the people who were demonstrating within the community. They also arrested about 8 Chinese nationals. Right. In fact, the people wanted to lynch them, but they managed to arrest them. We are just learning that the Attorney General's office has discontinued the case. And in fact, I've been calling quite a number of people to try to find out the reason behind the discontinuation of the case.
Erastus, thank you very much for that update on illegal mining. Erastus is coming to us from the Ashanti region. Well, national security operatives, we heard from them. We also have on the line, we go back to our former story and speak to Mr. Kumado, security analyst, on that issue in the northern Burkina Faso. Grateful for joining us, Mr. Kumado. So we're trying to unravel the situation about the issue that happened in Burkina Faso over the weekend. Terrorism has become a mainstay in our borders or on our borders. Interior Minister has raised concerns about this. How are we attacking this or dealing with this situation from the Ghana side?
So what we have done as law enforcement officers is that people say we are lucky. Yeah, lucky is fine. But our law enforcement officers have also worked so hard over the years. We have made sure that we have the focal points for intelligence gathering purposes. We have made sure that the national outlook on risk assessment has been done. We have made sure that national sovereignty guarantees are achieved within timelines. And we have also made sure that public safety challenges, which is one of the panaceas that terrorists use, have also been curtailed over time. These are the few things we have done as a nation that has kept us alive or secure up to today. Considering the fact that security management is a continuous process, I want to believe that our brothers and sisters within the law enforcement agencies, together with all of us who monitors the space, are working so hard to ensure that no breaches occur, and when they do, we mitigate against the impact.
Then why the concern if we've done everything to keep our borders safe? Why is the Interior Minister raising issues around this at this time?
To the extent that Ghanaians have been attacking deep down Burkina Faso, and to the extent that the Sahel region has been characterized with issues of treacherousness terror attacks, and to the extent that the West Africa zone have also been terrorized by terrorists, it is also important that the man in the center, the Interior Minister, whose responsibility is to ensure public safety, speak about it in the form of awareness creation and public awareness and public education purposes. And so that is exactly what he has done. And I think he has exactly what he would have done. So let's keep going. Let's keep watching after one another. When you see something, say something. Let our security agencies respond to issues of security breaches as quickly as they can. And I believe our sovereign guarantees will be achieved.
Well, unfortunately, in northern Burkina Faso, we've lost our brothers over there through an attack by terrorists in that area. We understand that the consulate there is also working to unravel the circumstances surrounding that incident. However, what will be the processes that must be, considered? Will this also raise any form of diplomatic or economic challenges?
We have a diplomatic relationship with the Sahel region. We are not antagonists with any of them at all. We even have an envoy to the Sahel region. So issues of diplomacy will be dealt with. Issues of intelligence sharing will be dealt with. Issues of communication will be dealt with.
Right.
What has happened to our aunties and sisters is that these are private individuals who decide to take businesses to the countries of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. Unfortunately, they find themselves at the wrong place at the wrong time. And you realize that this is not the first time they are engaging these terror groups. Unfortunately, this time around, the terror group did not grant the opportunity to ask if they are Ghanaians or not. That is to say that all individuals, whether you travel for fun, for leisure, for business, the particular area we are talking about is a high-risk zone. And you do not work there anyhow. Today is to, number one, take security. Number two, you have to take the bus for safety guidance. And number three, you have to take travel risk seriously. And one way of dealing with the travel risk is to deal with our embassy. The embassy will then provide security guidance and the warning signs and even security escort to that regard. If I am the one advising them as part of the travel risk assessment, I wouldn't advise that they travel deep into the north, about 400 kilometers away from Ouagadougou, which is too closer to the headquarters of the terror group in the Sahel region.
Well, the issue about bringing in tomatoes, which was the main reason they were there, if they're not to travel there, how then do we get our produce? That means that we're coming out.
A centralized markets at Boga or Tamale, making sure that the heavy-duty drivers bring in the tomatoes through Boko or Paga or Yendi. It makes life easier for them. It makes the travel risks minimized. Another way of solving this problem is to ensure that we empower specific farmers at Boga or Tamale and make sure they plant their particular seeds of tomatoes and onions from Burkina Faso. And they would have dealt with this particular issue. But to the extent that these are individual business people, they will want to chase business wherever they are until we are able to do all this. Let them take personal security seriously, engage our embassies, and engage people who know what a terrain can be at all times, and they will be fine. Other than that, these treacherous elements have the ability to create discomfort at all times.
Thank you very much, Richard Komado. He's a security analyst giving us updates on the issue in Burkina Faso. Now, some residents of Ntwaso along the Kumasi-Accra Highway have blamed what they describe as a delayed response by the Ghana National Fire Service and the police for the explosion that killed 4 persons and left several others injured. According to them, a fuel tanker overturned around 4 a.m., prompting some individuals to rush to siphon the fuel. They claim attempts to get security and emergency personnel to secure the scene were unsuccessful. The tanker reportedly exploded around 5 a.m. following a trigger, leading to the fatalities and injuries. Some residents have been speaking to JoyNews. Take a listen.
Anka we see because cars na mu hu nyina ne ya kwantufo enye se be ka bi na de bobi mu da bi na mo nyina ya kwantufo a mo twem kas ni nya ya kwantufo asana etade ni bom na etete sa pick up ni kwa de ne wadu tank no wa tank no ne to na da ewo ho nti ono de odu wanu ma na etese olokwe ba anuanya ka rade se rade ba driver no de onya kwan dwane ye munya dwane ye ana ba ma mienu na mo ti small car na what pick up no ho no ono de omo kemu wa ha omo de omo sedwure be
one plant mostly because mostly near for police. If police come says I didn't see you once we tank around we sure say for police. Say by police amantem police bantama and can you say tank away na tough them one say and say we risky. Everybody within be 12 o'clock to any day town be shit because I didn't explosive akape boom
Ghana ben for police phone fire service so e ya de sire na esire mu se bibi tu en amunka munka ke frem amunka munka kraman wana muna o man penyin se mbo en ho ban bibi na muna be frem ntim ko fro bia na me ka kire mu e de esire mu
Let's go to my colleague Fatal Bayaga. He's on the grounds and joins us with the very latest. Fatal, what more are you picking up at the scene? It's unfortunate we are unable to hear Fatal Bayaga there. We'll go back to him and get more from him later in that. You're still watching Joy News Today. We'll take a break and return with more. Welcome back. The Black Volta River, influenced by climatic conditions, has displaced 6,170 residents, including women and children, in 2023. Additionally, several thousand farms, property and livestock were also hit hard, with some 962 households not spared, forcing the inhabitants to seek refuge in temporary shelters. In today's Climate Evidence, we'll tell you how flood victims endorse intervention for relocation.
But to help safeguard life and the livelihoods of its subjects, the chief of the Buipe traditional area, Buipera Abdullahi Janapot I, did make a promise during the disaster to allocate land for the resettlement of the people of the Buipe community.
The most important is that you say Buipera, you give them a place. Have you given them a place? The answer is yes. And the answer yes is not just giving them a place alone or giving them by appointing a figure they know. I brought caterpillars, removed the whole place. The whole place is nearby the road. The whole place is even nearer to their own settlements. The whole place is demarcated and planned. I can just sit down here as I told you. And where you need plot, yes. Okay, go and take plot number 2.
Mr. Fusaini Al-Hassan is a fisher folk, and for him, the intervention by the chief is good news at last, worth welcoming.
Now, then be an answer to no Papunia, and soon corner as I bet as what now for say, why you wife me a few years. Since you buy home from Venus and so team the you are, if you want.
I might say, oh, wait a minute, so but Monsieur Tenassi. Now, about Mount, oh, my idea, no one sends you more. What you know, as soon as you start with the job.
However, not everyone is ready to migrate. A 75-year-old landlord, James Tete, said he prefers to stay and protect his ancestral home.
Migrating to the other side will be difficult because we are here for a long time, and the way the water disturbs, it comes from, especially the last water that took this is 2023. No, it's not from here. It's from Akusumo. Akusumo, where they keep the water in the dam for so many months. Come and affected the residents. It comes to about 5 years back. All the water go down. But I come before they are establishing buoy. So even if the buoy comes and they open buoy and it go to Akusumo will also spill and it will go.
At the Chief's Palace, I was shown a site plan of demarcated 200 plots of land. And when I later visited the much-awaited site allocated for the Great Migration, there were confirmation of deposits of sea sand and uncompleted structures owned by those eager to migrate. From these perspectives, residents and religious bodies, some of whom have already migrated beyond Buipe, are clear signs of a new dawn in the enclave. On this, the lead of Strategic Initiatives for Africa Governance, Dr. Shelter Gassi, noted that this move shows that planned migration is a powerful path to safety and resilience. The migration effort is a testament to the power of community and stakeholder support in the face of climate-related disasters. Isaac Nonye's report for Joy News. This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R41 Opportunities Fund.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDKN Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
Government is moving to rename the Kotoka International Airport as part of a broader plan to revamp Ghana's aviation sector and reintroduce a national carrier. At the launch of the 40th anniversary celebration of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Transport Minister Bukari Nikpe announced that government is working towards renaming the international airport to the Accra International Airport. He explained that the move forms part of efforts to align Ghana's aviation industry with international standards, strengthen aviation security training, and support the reintroduction of a national airline.
Ghana Civil Aviation Authority will continue to play a critical role in ensuring that all other aviation development meet higher international standards of safety, security, and regulatory compliance. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, hard-working members of this authority, on behalf of the government of Ghana, I commend the board, management, and both past and present staff of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority for your unwavering dedication and commitment to service. It is my hope that this commitment will continue and we will always be seen as the best among equals. I would want to say that at all gatherings, anytime I'm around with you, I am proud, and that is an extension of government's pride in you. We wish that we will continue to have that kind of leading role and support from you to the management and all who matter in running the affairs of this authority, and that will continue to keep the skies safe. To this, I say, Ayiko, and in my own language, may the good Lord be with you. It is therefore my pleasure to officially launch the 40th anniversary celebration of Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, and congratulations in advance to GCAA, and may the months ahead remind us of how far we have come and how much far we want to go. It's our prayer that the good Lord will see this celebration a reflection of the Ghanaian people in you, and also for you to take the opportunity to let the Ghanaian people understand clearly what you do and what your work means. We know that the skies will always be safe when you are trained. We know that the skies will be safe when your professionalism is on display. I want to thank you, and may the good Lord continue to bless you and bless our homeland, Ghana. I thank you.
And the Transport Minister, Bukari Nikpe, takes us to a break. We'll return with business.
You're welcome back. It's time for business. I am Michelle Lejekum. And now to our stories. The Association of Ghana Industries is advocating the establishment of more cocoa processing factories across the country, particularly in cocoa growing areas. The association believes expanding local processing capacity is one of the most effective ways to support government's value addition agenda and boost export earnings. President of the association, Kofi Nsiapoku, made the call at the association's National Council retreat.
I've already initiated discussions with the Minister for Trade and Industry on how we can really help in processing cocoa beans into various activities. And I even have discussed with her that they said they want to set up small processes in areas where the cocoa is produced. And we are ready to do that, where we can convert the cocoa bean into cocoa powder and the butter fat. We can convert the cocoa into various production and also use the butter fat cocoa to really go into cosmetics. You know, all these cocoa butter creams are using the cocoa butter. And therefore, the use of the product from the processing of the beans can be 100% used or converted into finished products from Ghana before they even move out. When you come to the powder, we can make products like chocolate drinks, products like Milo, which is already being produced here. We can do chocolate. We can do what we call the chocolate spread. So we can use the cocoa powder into various production, and then we can use the butter into cosmetics. So really, we don't need to export any processed cocoa bean in a semi-finished form. It is important that after all these years, before I was born, cocoa was in Ghana, but we are still exporting the beans. We expect that at this moment we will convert all the beans into processed products and rather export.
Also, investor interest in government securities shot up further as the government exceeded its Treasury bills targets once again by 253%. According to auction results, government received bids worth over 22.6 billion cedis. Meanwhile, interest rates fell below 9%. There's more in this report.
I have already initiated discussions with the Minister for Trade.
By the Bank of Ghana, the government rejected about 13 billion Ghana cedis of the bids, but accepted 8.9 billion Ghana cedis. The majority of the bids yet again came from the 364-day bill, with an estimated 7.7 billion Ghana cedis tendered. This represented 34.2% of the total bids. The uptake was, however, 3.4 billion Ghana cedis. For the 91-day bill, 7.6 billion Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered. The bids accepted were to the tune of 3.4 billion Ghana cedis. Similarly, 7.2 billion Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered for the 182-day bill. A little over 3 billion Ghana cedis of the bids were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates fell sharply across the yield curve, reducing the government cost of servicing. The 91-day bill dropped by 136 basis points to 8.60%. VAT of the 182-day bill also declined to 10.67% from the previous 11.81%. Again, the yield on the 364-day bill eased by 100 basis points.
Well, again, fuel prices are set to rise marginally at the pumps from today, according to the data from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. We have more in this report.
The expected increase, according to the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, was driven by the city's depreciation against the major trading currencies since last month, as well as rising prices of crude and finished petroleum products on the international market. Based on the data, petrol could go up by almost 2% per litre. Diesel, on the other hand, should be increased by almost 3% per litre, whilst that of LPG, on the other hand, will be up by more than 3% per kilogram. However, checks by Joy Business has indicated that not all the major oil marketing companies would move quickly from this morning to adjust prices, as some will seek to observe the market first before they respond due to competition and how that could impact on their market share and demand from consumers.
Well, that'll be all for business. I am Michelle Lejekum. The small business news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Sports is up next.